You've heard of supercars. What we've got here is Supertrux with an X. Big rigs, CB radio, records by Dave Lee Travis and hammer murders are all things we associate with trucking. And who hasn't dreamed of driving a big rig? Hence why there's so many truck computer games. No, wait, hang on, there's just Juggernaut by CRL. But thankfully, Elite have put that right for us with Supertrux. It's a racing game where you race across Europe as depicted on the Amstrad, copyright 1988, although the magazine seemed to have viewed it in April and May 89. Off we go. We are in London with some very big Lucas signs by the side of the road. We can see Big Ben, and the road isn't very wide, so it's very easy to crash into things. The ground in London is orange, and you have to keep an eye out on the signs on the top left because they tell you what's going to happen ahead. For example, corners, although it hasn't warned me, there's cones there. Yes, you'll be crashing a lot. And yes, this is the Amstrad version, and it's moving like a C64 racing game. And there are stages, and you have to race across Europe. The truck doesn't handle like a car. It's slow to react, which it doesn't make for much fun racing, and everything else is difficult to avoid, hence why I keep crashing. Over to the C64, and again you see that map, and we're waiting to start. No music, just engine sound effects. The movement on the road is depicted by flashing, but there's a much better sense of movement on the C64 here than on the Amstrad, and the sprite scaling is infinitely superior. The truck handles better as well. There's a lot of cones on the road, which disproportionately slow down your truck if you hit them. I mean, you are driving a truck that is quite a few tons in weight and can easily plough through a few cones. But touch one and you will lose half your speed instantly, if not more than half the speed, down to 30 kilometers per hour there. But we are being warned about the roadworks with the sign up above. Although when you are warned of obstacles like that, you've got no idea which side of the road it's going to be on. Easier to overtake on the 64. The road is wider. But yeah, there goes another cone in the air. And I've slowed down massively. Why? Zap reviewed this in April 89 and gave it 57%. Over to the Spectrum. Same map again. It's been drawn on one version and converted, hasn't it? Well, look, you get to see all the sights there. You've got the Eiffel Tower, or it might be Blackpool. On the menu screen, you get the usual control selections. But if you press K for Kempston, it starts to offer you the option to redefine the keys. And yes, this is the problem, that you can't play on Kempston on Supertrux even though it offers you the option, because somebody hasn't tested the menus and it goes to the wrong thing. So I'm going to end up playing this on the Sinclair joystick. And we start on the Spectrum as your diesel truck rocks from side to side. So we're driving along and it's faster than the Amstrad, although it's got the same issue with the road and the poor controllability of the truck. Sinclair user gave this 76% at full price, 61% for the re-release. Crash gave it 52%. It appears to be released, well, for the April 89 issues, but it was re-released on the Encore label for review in August 1990. So really looks like just over a year before it hit budget. Yeah, it's horrible overtaking on these Z80 versions. The road is not wide enough. And again, the movement isn't great on the Spectrum either. Oh, horrible. And And look, the road splits. Yes, the game I haven't mentioned so far is Outrun. This is Outrun with trucks. Do you see what Elite have done? And the colours change and you go on to the next level, which is Paris, which you've managed to achieve without crossing water or going through a tunnel. The road is splitting again. And there's barriers in the road for no reason. Also rather garish colour scheme of green and green road with yellow grass. That's what France looks like. There is only one type of truck on the road to race against. There are no other cars, there's no positions or anything. There is just one truck that you overtake constantly. And that makes for a very boring game. Some elite boards by the side of the road. Overtake another truck. More cones! The other trucks can drive straight through the cones, helpfully. But as I say on the 64, at least you stand a chance of overtaking, which you won't on the Z80 versions. I have frozen the timer. There's the Eiffel Tower in the distance, the road splits again. It's just a Outrun rip-off with trucks. Oh dear. Back on the Amstrad, which is a juddering, hideous mess. Just, I know trucks are going to be slow, but yeah, we're just, yeah. So it tells you where you're going. We can go to Rome on the right. We're going to go left, which is Belgium, I think. Don't know where that is. So in a static screenshot, you can look at this and go, this looks great. But you play it and it's just a horrible, jerky mess. CPC can do racing games. We know that. There's plenty of good, fast-moving racing games on the Amstrad. And this isn't one of them. You have this effect of the hills going up and down, but it just reduces the screen into this letterbox. So the bottom of the screen goes up and down. You can't see what's coming towards you. Collision detection is also really iffy. You get anywhere near an object and you've crashed. Have all these logos been licensed? Oh, road's going to split again. Again, I've frozen the time of the stage because, well... Amstrad Action gave this 63% on its budget re-release. They don't appear to have reviewed it at full price. We are warned of the hills though, and I drove straight through that other truck there, because sometimes that happens on the hills, and I drove through another one. Because, yeah. In fact, if you look ahead sometimes, I can crash into that one. Sometimes on the hills, the other trucks are floating in the air. So don't think just because you can drive through trucks on hills, you'll always be able to do it. It's just tankers. It's tanker after tanker. That's it. Or at least on the Amstrad. And then suddenly you've got all these big signs on the edge of the road again. At a budget price, you might not mind this comparatively. It's a full-priced game, though. In an era where, where are we? Well, is Turbo Outrun out yet? But, you know, there's a lot better racing games, certainly on the Spectrum and Amstrad. On the 64, at least it's got a bit of movement with it, but... yeah. And it's nice to have the road split, which something you first saw on Outrun. There aren't that many games, or in Venice now. We know that because there's water either side of the road. But yeah, that's a nice kind of be able to choose your route is quite a nice thing. On the Spectrum. Nice to be moving a bit faster after the Amstrad version. Venice is grey. on the Specky. I've got a height warning there, 14 feet and 6 inches. Although everything else, all the other measurements in the game are metric. We're racing kilometres per hour, so why would we got height in feet? And in any case, it doesn't matter because I'm plenty low enough. Strange, it's strange obstacles, and you get the draw distance on all of these versions is terrible, so you don't get to see the objects until you're practically on top of them. The road's going to split and there's roadworks. Where are the roadworks going to be? No, there's no roadworks. So we're going down here and we'll be on the next level in a minute. And back to the C64 where we're on the Athens stage. I cannot see the Acropolis. I feel sure we will see it on the horizon at any moment. Although there are ruins by the side of the road. There we go. Oh, it's gone dark. Is it night time? Do we have a shift to night time? Let's go right. Oh, this is the finish stage now. Not Finland. This is the finish stage. End of game stage. I've crashed a lot. Oh dear. The game now starts throwing random obstacles at you just to stop you finishing the game. So there you go, look, you've got all these roadworks, you've got to guess where the gap's going to be. Aren't we having fun? Aren't we having fun? I mean, seriously, why? They appear about 4 frames in front of you, and when you're going fast, you do not have time to get past. You could argue you need to slow down, but you're on a timer. It's supposed to be a race again. Oh, goodness me. I can't get that. Why do... No, I know why they've done this. It's to stop you completing the game too easily. That is it. Make the final stage really hard so that you cannot finish the game. Well, I mean, just you can't even see where the gap is. You'd have to be going so slowly. Any more? Oh, goodness, it's over. I mean, Zap said about this, if you want to be a trucker, then buy a Yorkie bar. And you get a few Yorkie bars for the price of this, even on budget. And the Specky does it slightly differently. It just sticks roadworks, or random tyres, in the road. You have to guess where the random tyres are going to be. In terms of game design, this is an utter cop-out. Don't just ramp your difficulty level up, just make the last level impossible. Right, is that? Are we done with the random tyres now? Oh no, we're getting more roadworks flashing up. Is this the end of the game? We've finished the game. We are the rally winner. Keep driving, trucker. I suspect the only winners here are Elite. Amstrad version, juddering along. You think the slow speed of the updates would help you better steer your truck, but it's just so slow and awful. Here we go. The colours are changing. Well done, rally winner. And yes, you can just go round again, and again, and again, and again. There is nothing super about Supertrux. It's an Outrun clone with lorries. That is it. It's a poor Outrun clone with lorries. C64 version, at least it moves well, and you can get your lorry past the opponents. However, it's a banal, boring, repetitive, and unfair game, which applies to the Amstrad and Spectrum as well. The Amstrad is a juddering mess. There are so many good races on the Amstrad CPC that have graphics equal or better than this. And then you play this game that just judders along like a shambling, awful mess. The Spectrum version has all the collision problems of the Amstrad version, but at least moves a little bit faster. But in all three versions, this is basically a budget game put out at full price. Did Elite code this thinking they might get an Outrun license or something? I don't know. It seems weird. It seems a strange choice. Did someone take them a Outrun style game and they go, yeah, let's put some lorries in it so we can differentiate ourselves so we don't get sued? I don't know. Supertrux is a lamentable Outrun clone, and all you ever see on the road is tankers, which also describes the people behind this game.